Howdy everybody. This is a Warhammer build. Okay, I'm kind of show you a little bit about it. This here is my rough drawing, just basically giving you the idea of what you kind of need. And now, I thought I needed 6 of these, 2 each, for the tracks to be on, but as it turned out, I need an inside and outside piece for the bearings, for the wheels, for the tracks. So I'm having to make 2 more. Now I'm using hot pocket boxes because they're super dense cardstock. And so this is going to make a very solid base for your tank to be on. And built properly, you should be able to play with this thing for years and years. And if you ever break it, the cool thing is it's very simple. It's paper. You just glue it back together. And so anyway, this is where I'm at right now, is I've got to make 2 more of these. And I want this to be a very good tutorial video for what I got to do. And I'll show you this. Now these are sanded. You have to sand this, otherwise it won't glue properly. And so now what I have to do is I have to take this. Now there's things you have to do. Okay, if you want these to be nice and straight, you have got to dry them in between boards. Okay, I have these boards that I made. I sanded these edges off, and you can see these little, I probably better bring these back up. Anyway, I have draftsman's arrows on these, and that tells you, because I used a belt sander to sand these faces down nice and smooth, so that when I glue stuff together, it is as absolutely flat as possible. Now see, the thing is, Elmer's glue or PVA has a high water content to it, and you're putting this on paper. Okay, so what happens is it is going to warp your paper. It's inevitable. And I found this out by accident on Darth Vader's TIE Fighter, and I ruined the first part of the wings that I was building and couldn't use them. I tried straightening them, I tried doing all kinds of stuff. But now what you do is you line these up like this, and then you hold it in place until it starts to bond. Because see how this slips around here? If you try to clamp it down in your wood blocks before this has started to adhere, what'll happen is it'll slip. And when it does slip, oh man, what you're gonna have is a piece that is glued together, and you can't fix it. All right, now it still moves just a little bit, so I got to hold it a little bit longer until it starts to adhere really well. And what this will do is this will give you your structure. And now I stick it on here like this. Okay, put that on there like so, and then I take my big clamps and I clamp it down. Now I'm looking at this because I want to make sure that it doesn't slip, because it's really weird when you put the clamps down there, they do this to the wood and it can slip. Now it's not slipping. So now I've got my other piece that I need, and I put this down here. That's got to dry overnight. All right, now this is where I'm at right now with these. I got 3 of them. I needed 4. Okay, so at this point in time, these edges have to be rounded off. Now this is where my Dremel light comes in really, really handy. All right, it saves me all kinds of sanding hours that I don't have to waste time getting these edges. All right, and this is what I'm doing. All right, you can see versus this. Because the rollers have to go in here and the tracks are going to roll around them. And so you have to fix this so that it's so that the tracks will roll smoothly around your edges. Now I suppose I could have cut these out in that position, but it's much easier to cut straight edges, like these edges. It's much easier to cut those and then to take this little Dremel light and to sand these things down, because otherwise it's going to take you extra hours to cut these rounded edges. And so this is where you have to start with your building any kind of tank. Okay, you have to have a good superstructure inside your vehicle so that it can maintain its structural integrity. All right, and that's one thing I teach you, is how to build with paper and keep your structural integrity intact. And there's a great deal more you have to do. One of the things I'm going to have to do is I have to figure out where my wheels and what size my wheels are going to be for the tracks to roll on. Then I've got to punch holes in this. And I happen to have a good hole punch for that. Matter of fact, I got it at Wally World. It's a very good little hole punch, and it will punch through this no problem. There's only 2 layers of paper here. And so it shouldn't be a problem getting that to work. And you can see there's a little line along here. That's where it didn't quite line up right when it was gluing. And so that's not a problem. You just put that piece on the inside of the chassis and it never shows because it'll be completely covered up. Yeah. And that, I would say, is probably going to be tutorial number 1, is how you have to build this. Now, I'm building a tank that looks like this. All right, you don't need to do this shape. You can do any shape you want. The principle is the exact same, no matter what it is that you're building. All right, you can do this same principle with a truck, a car, you know, a track hoe, a bulldozer, tanks, planes, doesn't matter what they are. You have to have a good superstructure inside that is strong. All right, that way you have years that you can play with this stuff. And you may not want to play with it. You just want to make the best model kits you can make out of paper and make them look like they're real. Okay, that's this process right here goes with everything I build. Doesn't matter what it is. I'll show you one right now. Oh, turn that off. Right here. This SR-71 Blackbird from the X-Men. Okay, this is a 1980s version. But, and you guys, they become like super strong. It doesn't matter what they're tough. Okay, because there's a superstructure inside this, just like I teach you how to do on YT. All right, and for all y'all that know me, it's YouTube. But anyway, this is exactly what you have to do. Inside, it all looks like this. Okay, all honeycombed or structurally correct. Floor joists, ceiling joists, ribbing. It's all stuff that you have to do. Okay, now, All right, now I have all of those the same. Okay, so what I do now is we just take these clamps and we clamp these together like this. And now I go over all of them at the same time. Now what I'm doing is I am making them all symmetrical with each other. Because you take the mass down ahead of time and then you go ahead and you start doing this. And what this does is this makes them all match up. All right, because the more your pieces fit together better, the better your builds will be. Because anybody that's built model kits, they know your model kits come all matched up. All right, they're all ready to size, and you don't have to worry about this. But when you're building one-off masterpieces out of paper, you have got to take the time to do it the right way. You can rush through it, it don't matter. You know, if you're happy with your job and you've hurried up and you've done it the way you want and you like it, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks about it. I only do this because I want people that decide to take up this hobby to have the opportunity to build the absolute best pieces they can build. And there is tutorial number 1 for your chassis work on your Warhammer tank or any kind of other tank that you might want to do. So, you guys, this is the start. The start of what you do pretty much dictates what your end project will look like. All right? It's like these DeLoreans. Excuse me. The DeLoreans. The prototype was not very good. These, number 2, 3, 4, 5, and number 5, much better. Daggone it. Where'd these hiccups come from? I need some agua. Okay. There we go. So anyway, tutorial number 1, Warhammer tank build. Now I'm probably going to have 2 sets of tutorials because I'm also going to build some micro machines of this as well. And at least I think that's what I'm going to do. And it might be such a thing that I will do this Warhammer build and then I will build the micro machines. I'm not sure. So anyway, take care, Paper Army. Salute, and I will see you all later.